I really want to talk about that weapon, but let's wait. Let's hold off a little bit more and just see how powerful that is.
Willing to irradiate thousands so long as he survives. Seika and I have to find a way to stop him. Once I make things right with her. I guess Brennick spread the word to the rest of the people here. That Laundra doesn't care about them. They must be pretty confused.
Stay, Lon.
Set.
Then
Everything
where
was
are we
a lie.
supposed to go?
None of us mattered, Walter.
Maybe we could return to our crewmates.
You want to give up? After everything we've been
She ought to slow down.
You. Brennick told us you're the cause of all this.
Cause is one way to put it, yeah.
Everyone, please, remain calm. Seika stormed out of here not long ago. What exactly did you two do in there? Just go.
But we're devoted. It seems like the Quen have some thinking to do. I hope they figure it out and head back to Fleet's End. But I gotta meet up with Seika. Talk things out with her. Make sure we're okay. Time to get off.
Up there! Anyone around?
Hard to believe all this might just
and
Yeah, I feel pretty bad about just dropping that on you.
at least you were honest. Because I haven't been honest with you. Those paintings we saw in Laundra's old building, I recognize the style. My sister painted them. She's one of them. One of his followers. I wanted to hide it from you. Or hide it from myself, maybe. She's gone. I've lost her. And I feel like I've lost my tribe, too. Now you tell me that the world is ending? What am I supposed to do with all that?
Seika.
What's the point?
Seika, I completely understand why you wouldn't tell me that. It's okay. But your sister? Your people? They are a part of you. Nothing can change that. You have to fight for them. To save them from Laundra, but maybe even to save them from themselves. And you will. That's just you. That's part of what makes you... great. You don't have to do it alone, okay? I will help you, I promise. Oh. Okay.
Okay.
We need to find a way onto that peninsula.
The currents are too strong for swimming.
Yeah. And if we fly or take your skiff, that tower will knock us out.
I was thinking, there's a machine that can fly and dive below the surface. The water wing.
I thought you said the towers blasted a bunch of them out of the sky.
Yeah. But if we were riding one, maybe we could do better. Time our dives to duck below shots from the tower. Can that spear of yours tame one?
No. Not yet, at least. Are there any water wings left? Do you think you could find one?
There have been a few sightings since we took down the first tower. I could ask around the settlement.
Okay, let me know when you have a lead. In the meantime, I'll work on the override.
Gotta admit, I'm not exactly looking forward to the ride.
Seika seems better. Good. We're good. Okay. Can't get distracted from the task at hand. Gonna need some support for this one. Hey, Beta? I need your help. Do you think you and Gaia can modify my Sunwing override to work on water wings?
The two machines do share a lot of similar code. We might be able to patch together a software update at the fabrication terminal. But we'll need some data from a water wing's ballast regulator and an intact wing membrane.
On it.
Gaia and I will prep everything here in the meantime. Stay safe.
Seika mentioned there used to be water wings near Fleet's End. The Zenith Tower we took down blasted them out of the sky, so I should be able to dive for the parts.
Man. I will come to an end here, but first I'm gonna talk about what just happened. Like at first, we got ourselves a weapon But I will have to look up how we use it. Is it maybe in here? Highly likely not. But giving us a gun is weird. Like before, like machine guns are not something unusual for Horizon, right? Every game we picked up heavy weapons, machine guns, grenade launchers. So this is not so distant, but it was always limited to that area and to ammunition. Also, it heavy impaired your movement. So giving the player that as a permanent option doesn't seem right with me. Since if it's too powerful, it completely replaces the bow. And then the bow only has elemental affinities as usefulness. Yeah, it is limited to weapon stamina, so it's for those abilities that let me take multiple arrows or shoot arrows different ways, you know. So that yellow bar there in the bottom right. So it definitely won't be a permanent option. But I guess we have to see how powerful that weapon really is, because especially for someone like me who plays burst oriented, you know, where I always go for freezing my opponent and then going for crits and just trying to burst my enemy down. If that weapon does mediocre damage, it's probably way too strong for me on my playstyle. I just don't know where a good place for a weapon for us would be. Yeah. Also precision is probably a form factor in all of that, so gonna have to see about that. So lastly, I guess we are going to go back all the way to the beginning of the game. Because one of the things I heard about this game is that it has a pretty bad gay plotline. And I was wondering what it would be, you know. I thought the gay theme of sorts would be way more present, and I was quite surprised that the few quest lines that had gay themes were quite okay, you know. There was this one guy that talked about how he wears woman armor, but he does that because it's better made for climbing. And sure, he gets made fun of in the barracks and all of that, but he sees it more like, sure, it's a form of expression for him, but you know, you understood that, you know, yes, utility, but also expression were equally in weight. Then we had this big mother trucker who lost a friend, and then suddenly he bursted out and told us about how he was not just a friend but his lover. I'm like, okay, awkward, how do you put me in this position? Right? Then there were others, and they just weren't really strict in your face. Like, for example, the beta plotline. I thought that towards the end a gay theme was developed between Aloy and Beta, which made that in of itself quite awkward. But I guess now we actually discovered the problematic storyline. Because I don't even like this other character. All she is, I just realized. She is strong-willed, bratty, self-centered, and supposedly a warrior. Guess who else in this story has this opinion of mine focus on them? Well, it's Aloy. So the story is a pretty simple one of Aloy basically being overwhelmed by someone who suddenly is able to keep the tempo up. With someone that can fight by her side, and she doesn't have to think twice and actually takes the lead sometimes. Even so, Erend and Frick. Basically every male character that has been introduced had its moments. Had his moments of proving himself for the same reasons. But the relationship here between Aloy and this other girl is getting sped run. The amount of times the other characters have been around, and whereas like each and every one of those had an invested interest in Aloy, to put it mildly. Everyone besides one, and that is our martial friend that lost his arm, because he lives for the fight, and he's an egghead for that reason. And Val is the name I just remembered. Yeah, Val is... Erend and Val were interested in Aloy from game 1. Val from being just simply overwhelmed how amazing the role is of Aloy, and he just tried to keep up in every regard, and was just fascinated. And Erend just got trauma bonded through the loss of his sister, through the battles he had in the meantime with that he fought with Aloy, that he always was there, not only when we asked him to, he always was jumping into wanted to jump into battle. He always recommended his help. So the question becomes, why is now this weird? Why is especially a interest weird when this person is strong-willed, likes to lead fights or progression in general, and honestly, I don't have a straight answer for it. The best way is really that I can just say the same thing again. It feels like a speed run of the relationship. Yes, we are somewhat trauma bonded as well, just like Erend. Yes, the string of awesomeness, how we have to face even stronger evils day in and day out, the next day and the day after. Um, just like Wall had to see us fight. But for some reason, this character that looks way too clean, that is not sunburnt in the slightest, you know? And is not faulty in any way. I just don't see her really exist in this world. Yeah, I guess really the speedrun of the relationship is the best way I can put it. So yeah. It feels forced and yeah.